All right, welcome. We're going to bring in Shamika Michelle. We have a very, very provocative topic to talk about. Shamika, Janet Jackson, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, has had some statements about Kamala Harris and whether or not she's black or not. Let's read verbatim. Well, you know what they supposedly said. She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. I believe that's Janet Jackson, and D.L. Hughley then tweeted at Janet. Janet Jackson's interview sounded like a Trump rally. FYI, it's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman. He always comes to the defense of Kamala Harris. And then who is this last tweet from? This is Kamala versus Trump. This tells you everything you need to know. Kamala Harris, seen here back in 2003, 2004, was actively working with the Santa Barbara police trying to destroy Janet Jackson's brother and send him to jail, while Donald Trump defends Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was later vindicated on all charges and proven innocent. Shamika, I get there's some history here. I get why Janet Jackson doesn't like Kamala Harris. And then there was something about maybe Janet issued an apology, and then Janet was like, no, I didn't issue no apology. I'm standing on business.
Right.
Your thoughts?
This is hilarious to me, especially with people like D.L. Hughley trying to come after Janet Jackson. We know that Janet is black, right? She has two black parents. So the fact that he would come to the rescue of this woman who is in question is just simply says that he's not really pro-black as he tries to pretend. He's pro-Democrat. He is bought and paid for. He is a Democrat shield. That's exactly what he is. And so I thought it was funny that people felt like they could cancel Janet. You can't cancel Janet. She has been around for most of the people that are on social media flapping their lips or, taking their fat thumbs to just tweet anything. But I'm glad that she said, she did not issue an apology. We'll see what happens over the next few days, because I've kind of been sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, is she going to come out and backtrack, or does she know I am Janet Jackson and I am in control and this is just what it is?
I think she's going to stand on it. I think that I guarantee you Donald Trump was probably involved with some Jackson-related concert tours back in his days before politics. And, all the people in the music industry were pretty fond of Donald Trump before he got into politics. And so I'm sure Donald Trump's relationship with Michael, Janet, the Jackson family goes way, way back. And Kamala Harris's history with the Jacksons, probably there is no history. She's, great. She went to Howard University, and I guess she's an AKA, but she ain't going back to Indiana.
Right.
I'm sorry. Jackson,
Yes.
Michael Jackson's my favorite anyway. But so I'm partial to anything the Jacksons do here. So I'm biased.
Yes, so am I. And there was this, I guess Donald had called into some newscast, and he was talking about Michael and saying how he just doesn't believe it, and how Michael used to spend a lot of time with Eric and Don. And so when you have a man that has stood up for one of your family members that you love like that, it's very hard for you to take the bait and just turn on him. This is the same thing that we've seen with Mike Tyson saying, hey, Trump has never done anything to me. In fact, when the world was turned against me, Trump was still for me. And so when you have people that have that sense of loyalty, it's not easy for them to be bought. And you can't buy a Jackson, no matter how much the media says, oh, Michael was broke and he was trying to sell the Elephant Man's bones. This is the same thing they say about Trump, right? That he's broke. They have, he has no money. We know Janet has money. So she has what, you said several times, that FU money, and she doesn't have to bow to them. Not only that, she knows what it feels like to be canceled. When she had the little nip slip at the Super Bowl, people turned their back on her. So she's been able to walk through the fire before and come out unscathed.
Look, I'm one of these people that most people would consider a weirdo, because I don't believe any of the things that have been said about Michael Jackson and kids. I don't. And if I did believe them, trust me, I would flip on Michael Jackson. But, from time to time, I would go down these rabbit holes trying to make sure that my convictions were right. And so I think Janet Jackson, the entire Jackson family, probably knows, like, man, we saw the smear campaign and the distortions as it relates to Michael. The exact same things are going on with Donald Trump, and it makes them sympathetic. That's where a lot of my sympathy for Donald Trump stems from. I've seen the media create a narrative about me, and I'm like, holy cow. How could they do this? Literally writing things the opposite of what actually happened. And the story, I'll give it. I'm trying to not put myself on a cross. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, but it's like those Deadspin articles. The kid wrote that I called and yelled and screamed at him when he was in the hospital. And I would go, and he wrote this in an article. He started off, and I'm like, now, I have the email from him thanking me for the way that I treated him when he was in the hospital and the respect. And I'm reading a story that I yelled and screamed and berated him and blah, blah. And it's just made up a whole lie. And I've seen it over and over again with me and distorted things. And that's what makes me like, man, I hear them saying a lot of stuff about Trump, but if I don't see it with my own eyes, it's hard for me to believe, because I know the media will outright lie about people they want to destroy. And I'm sure the Jacksons quite familiar. When you've been covered the way the Jacksons have since childhood, covered by the media, you're used to waking up and reading things in the newspaper or online that's like totally devoid of truth. And so you're sympathetic towards Donald Trump, and you just like, who's Kamala? Where'd she come from? She slept her way to the top. Janet Jackson said, I got real talent. I had to put real work in to have this success. And do you know what my daddy did to us? The spankings we took to do this.
Right.
Blah, blah. And all you did, Kamala, was drop to a knee for Willie Brown. Miss me with all of it.
Yeah, I want to go on record, Jason, as saying that Kamala is the Indian Rachel Dolezal. I'm at the point now where I'm saying she's not Black, because her father is looking very Indian in those earlier pictures, and I'm not moved by the fact that they want to claim he's Jamaican. We know there are Asians that have been born or live in Jamaica and have Jamaican citizenship or whatever. So I'm going on record now. I don't believe it. I think she is the Indian Rachel Dolezal, and maybe she wants to be Black. And so that's why she went to Howard and got her little short haircut, the pictures that she's been parading around the internet. I'm not buying it at this point, because a true Black woman, as we've talked before, knows better than to put some collard greens in the bathtub. That's all I needed to hear. She's not Black.
Accurate. I will say this, just for the objectivity, I do like her pictures from Howard University. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, thank you, Shamika, and thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.